Many entrepreneurs feel overwhelmed with all they have to do to run a business. But what if there was a way to automate many of those tasks so that you could focus on more important things? By automating business tasks, you can focus on the essential tasks that allow you to make more money and grow your business at the same time. You don't have to be tech savvy or a tech expert to take advantage of business automation. Many are user-friendly and easy to learn. Some are more advanced though, I will note that. But today I am sharing 7 automations every entrepreneur needs to take your business to the next level. And these automations, these 7 there's easier ones, and there's more advanced ones. So we're going to kind of break them down and get into it. So the first one, well, before we even start that, actually, I want to hurry and talk about what automation actually is. Because normally what people think of when they think automation is this program that you have to enter in code to make it do all these crazy fancy things. But that is not completely true. That is one type of automation. There are actually 4 types of automation. The first one that I like to bring up is a self-automation. And that is where you are training yourself to do something that makes it repetitive so that it is automated. You really don't have to think about it when you're doing it. The second one is a template automation. And so this is where you create templates, obviously, that make your life a lot easier. The next one is process automations. And these are ones where you have things in place, steps, processes written out on how to do something. So that way you don't have to think from the very beginning on how to do something. You have it written out and you can quickly go through it. So that's a type of automation as well. You might not see that as an automation, but it really is. And the fourth one is the one that most people always think about, and it's the tech side. It's the tech automation. So with that, let's jump into the 7 things or 7 ways that you need to be automating in your business. So the first one is batching. Now, this one is, you might not think of it as an automation. You might just think of it as more of a productivity type of things. But guess what? Automation is productivity. It is making things run easier, run on autopilot. And so batching comes into play with automation. And so batching, what this means, for example, I am filming this podcast today, but it's not the only podcast I'm filming today. That way I'm only setting up my camera one time to do multiple different podcast episodes. And so I am batching that at one time. So I'm setting this up once. So it's saving me time down the road. And this can even be with the creation of social media posts where you are sitting down and thinking of a bunch of different social media posts at one time. That way, the way that it works with automation is that you're putting your brain in the mode of whatever you're getting into, and that allows you to automate the process so that you don't have to keep switching gears. So you're automating the process of your brain being able to do things repetitively and continuously in the same realm. So batching the content helps you be able to move through things faster. So that's the first one I encourage you to do, is start batching things together. And I know some people struggle with this, and some people feel like it does not help their creativity. And if you're one of those people, that's totally fine. But I still encourage you to try it. It might surprise you. And even if maybe it's you create all your content and then another day you're batching, scheduling it all. So if that's how you have to batch, that's excellent. I would just encourage you not to be jumping around to different things in the fact of like maybe you're creating a content and then the next thing you know, you're uploading it to something else. But maybe if you created all your content, batched it all together, and then you schedule it all in a batch session, you'd probably see a really big benefit to that. Number 2 is shortcuts. Okay. Who doesn't love a shortcut? Oh my gosh, they are my favorite thing. Command C and Command V and Command Z on my computer are my most used shortcuts. If you look at my keys, you probably notice that those are the ones that are always being used. Because they allow me to quickly do processes. And so shortcuts are an automation. I cannot say that enough. And I just want to encourage you to learn the shortcuts that will benefit you the most in whatever program that you're using. There are so many programs that have different shortcuts. And sometimes you might not feel like the shortcut key that they have is what's going to flow best for you. For example, maybe you're using one program and the command is a different from another program. You can, in a lot of these programs, you can customize the shortcuts so that way you can make them more consistent across the whole space of whatever you're using. And I really encourage you to do that. And on top of these shortcuts as well, there is something called a text expander. For Instagram, for example, let's say that you want to reply or you get the same question over and over again. So what you can do is create a short key that would allow you to answer that same question over and over again with a quick response. And so shortcuts can also be short keys, text expanders. Instagram does have one built in. I think it's called Saved Reply. I think that's what it's called. But you can also download apps to your computer or your phone that will allow you to do this. And I really encourage you to do that rather than writing out stuff from scratch every single time that you need to do that. Number 3. Oh my goodness. This one I love. I love it, love. It is templates. Okay. This was an automation type, is templates. But I don't think people truly realize the value of a template. I have templates for almost everything. When I'm talking to people, I have a weekly mentorship group, and they like to joke that, of course, Megan has a template for this. And guess what? I normally do. Because if I'm creating something more than once, why would I create it from scratch again? When I can create a template and use that over and over again. This saves me time. It saves my subcontractors, so my VAs, tons of time. I have this set up for Pinterest pins where we have a starting point. So all the dimensions and everything are already set. And so my VA just has to go in, add an image, change up the text, and voila, it's ready to go. Rather than, okay, let's start from scratch. What's the dimensions? I can't remember. Let me go look that up. I have a template in place that allows that to go a lot faster. So you're automating the process of starting from scratch. And with that too, I have so many. I have video templates. I have a podcast template before I start every podcast. And this will be for number 7. So I'm not going to share this part yet, but something automatically creates it for me. But yeah, so templates are absolutely amazing. I encourage you to start thinking about how you can start implementing templates more in your business. And you might be surprised, things that you thought that you couldn't create a template with, you most certainly probably can. And so once you start changing your mind to think templates, you're going to be, anything that you're creating is, well, can I create a template to make this easier the next time I do it? So I really encourage you to use templates because they are going to save you so much time. Number 4 is email marketing. Now, I put email marketing because email takes up so much time. But there's 2 sides of email. There is the emails that come into your inbox, and then there's the emails that you're sending out to people. Now, you probably already know about the automations that you can have in an email service provider. So, for example, somebody subscribes to your email list, and then you would have a sequence that goes out, welcoming them into it on day 1, or then day 2, another email goes out and another email. That's an automation. You've already created an automation if you have that. If you don't, I encourage you to do that. You're missing out on an opportunity there to get to know to have your